Hello again, everyone. This is Rudolph Wilkins of Forgotten Fitness, and I have covered a lot of interesting exercises on this channel. That being said, I primarily focus on exercises performed during what has been known and dubbed the Silver Era of bodybuilding, approximately from 1920 to the end of the 1950s. However, there is a whole world of exercises that were performed during what has been dubbed the Bronze Era of bodybuilding that are equally, if not more, interesting. One of those exercises is the dumbbell bent press, and I have actually covered the bent press, being the barbell bent press, in a previous video, and I thought I would show the dumbbell variation. Now, there are tons of ways to do the bent press, be it with a barbell, a dumbbell, a kettlebell, anything in between. You can even use scale weights. There's tons of different variations of this exercise, but today we're going to be discussing an absolute classic, a Bronze Era staple, as described by one of the best bodybuilders during the 1920s, Sigmund Klein. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this exercise, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, but I hope you all enjoy this video. This exercise can be found in Sigmund Klein's How to Bent Press booklet from 1938, among many other places. For those unaware, the bent press is often described as the king of lifts, and was probably the most important Bronze Era lift there was. It saw great popularity from the mid to late 1800s up until the late 1940s, with waning popularity after World War II, where things like the overhead standing press and the bench press took over. It was a favorite among circus strongmen such as Eugen Sandow, Professor Attila, Pierre Gasnier, the Saxon Trio, among many others. It is a full-body exercise, which relies heavily on a very strong midsection. Unlike many other movements from the time, it can be used as both an exercise, which is a rep-based movement used to build muscle, or a lift, which is a demonstration of strength. You can think of this almost like a max, but it's used to show how strong you are, to a crowd most likely. There are at least 5 different versions of this exercise, with the one I will be describing most often used to lift exceedingly heavy weight. And if you look up any videos of bent press from the early 1900s, this is the most common variation you will see, because it allows you to lift the most weight just because of where it places your body underneath the weight. I will be breaking down the movement into 6 simple steps you can follow, but it is much easier to explain them while I am doing the exercise rather than just writing it on a page. So I'll go on to the demonstration now and explain how you want to perform the exercise. And here it is, the dumbbell bent press. As I have already stated, I will be breaking this up into 6 simple steps. Step 1 is this beginning stance. You will essentially straddle a fairly heavy dumbbell in between your legs. You can have it either facing forward, and so that both the bells are actually in front of you, or turn sideways like I have here. But either way, you want to wrap your hands underneath the grip, because typically you will be doing very heavy weight on this lift. Then you will hoist the dumbbell over one shoulder. In this case, I am working my right arm, so I am hoisting this over my right arm. And as you can see, once I do that, once I flip it into position, my legs are already positioned and ready for the press. My elbow is also tucked right against my side, and there's essentially no space. You should also notice how I'm starting to lean just ever so slightly in preparation. Now in step 2, you will begin the actual press, and this is the leaning portion. You are bending off of your opposite hip down, slowly bringing your opposite arm in between your legs. And now, at this point, you will also just start to squat a little so that you can get under the weight. A very, very important thing here is that you do not want to raise the dumbbell at all while you are dropping. You want to keep it as flat as it was when you started, on the same plane, in fact. On step number 3, you will actually bring the arm completely inside the leg, sliding it down fully while also bending your right knee, and your arm should be 3/4 straight at this point. Step number 4, you will squat even deeper, and that means squatting using your quads and dropping your butt lower, and then across the body you will place your other arm and hand so that it is bracing against the opposite leg. which is actually the working side. So your opposite arm will be bracing against your working side's leg. Step number 5, you will drop all the way, your arm will be fully extended, and then you will begin coming back up. Now when you come back up, you want to bring the body up and follow the dumbbell. So now you are raising the dumbbell beyond the plane that it started with, beyond the origin plane, and standing up fully. Once you get to the very top, you will bring the legs together, and now you have completed the bench press. I know this sounds very confusing, but it's actually not too bad. Honestly, the hardest part about doing it is keeping the dumbbell steady. Like I said, as you drop, you are not moving the dumbbell at all. You want it to stay exactly on the same plane it was originally. You also ideally don't want to rotate it in your hand. I was having admittedly a little bit of trouble with that here, but I did manage to keep it very still and on the same plane. This is a controlled drop, and that's how I've described it before. You are bringing your body down, not necessarily pressing the weight up, until you have full extension at the arm. It's very unique, very different from what we do now, and a fantastic exercise if you've never given it a try. But that's all I have for you today. That is the dumbbell bench press. A really interesting bronze era lift you will never see done at a gym, but I highly recommend all of you give it a try if you have not. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about this video, or if you have any future video ideas, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. But until next time, this is Forgotten Fitness signing out. Bye-bye.